Couple of teams still in the mix. As we get started here in the second half, I want to play a little game called Pretender or Contender with things seemingly wide open and why. Let's start in that Eastern Conference with the first one. We're going to go 76ers first.
I'm going to have to say Pretender, and I'm shocked because they actually have enough talent to win the whole thing. Problem is you don't see teams that are this wildly inconsistent between home and road performance go on to win a title, and that's why I think they're a contender. This team is 9-19 on the road. To put that in perspective, that's the same record the New York Knicks have. It's not even as good a road record as the Sacramento Kings. So you just don't see a team that might have to go on the road for 3 straight rounds and have that road record come out.
What about the Heat, contender or pretender?
I'm going to say Pretender with the caveat that I could change because you've added Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder to the mix. So I need to see them a little bit larger sample size with this team. I just think they might lack one more go-to offensive player. And if Jimmy Butler runs into a defense committed to making him give the ball up, I think they could be caught.
Let's move to the West now. Jazz, contender or pretender?
Yeah, they're a contender, and they're one of the best-kept secrets still in the Western Conference because we talk so much about the Lakers and Clippers. This is a team that defensively can do very unique things to you, the way they can pressure the ball in the perimeter and funnel everything to Rudy Gobert. So they could slow a series down and potentially, get a big road win and turn the entire thing. They're a legit contender.
And finally, the Nuggets.
Again, contender, number 2 seed in the West. We don't talk about them very much, but right now you're looking at a team that has Jamal Murray playing the best basketball of his career. Jokic has found his game after a slow start. And again, they've got a lot of long bodies, very athletic perimeter players that can do things defensively that a lot of teams can't. You saw the game right before the break where they took the Lakers to overtime when the Lakers played really well. So that's a good sign for the Denver Nuggets. I think they're a legitimate contender.
What's the storyline that's standing out the most to you now that the All-Star break is behind us?
Well, Randy, I think for me it has to be which team is going to emerge as the biggest threat to the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. I think right now Milwaukee has been head and shoulders above everybody else, not only in the East but really in the NBA when you look at their consistency. So there's 5 teams lumped together on that next tier. Which team is going to emerge from that group? And I could honestly make a legitimate argument for any of those teams why I would expect to see them in the conference finals. But for me, it would be the Raptors. I think this is the team I look at and say, they've got a toughness about them. They've got a swag about them because they're champions now. They carry themselves a little bit differently. I also think they've got more guys that can beat you with their playmaking. When you look at Pascal Siakam, who is now an all-star and an option 1 on an NBA roster as a scorer, you've also got Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. So they've got 2 other guards that can beat you from the three-point line. They can beat you with their playmaking. They can beat you with their defense. They're exceptionally well coached. And right now, coming into the break, they were the hottest team in the Eastern Conference. So I think that ultimately might be the team we see challenging the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. And let's not forget, they beat them a year ago. And so they've got that in the back of their mind as well. They came up with the game plan to slow down Giannis Antetokounmpo and advance. And I think that is something that's going to give them a lot of confidence if they see them again in that round.
And Siakam was part of that game plan, and he has only gotten better. So this looks like one of the more wide-open seasons so far in the NBA. And with that in mind now, give us a sleeper team from each conference that could cause some chaos in the postseason. Why don't we start with the East?
Okay, so amongst that group, I think the team that I would consider a sleeper would be the Miami Heat. I mean, first of all, this is a team that I expected to be battling to get into the playoffs this year in the Eastern Conference. Clearly, they've been much better than that. The thing I love about this team, when you watch them, I think outside of Boston, they probably have more guys that can beat you off the dribble or off the catch and shoot than anybody else. They've got great ball movement, great chemistry. I love the fact that Eric Spoelstra is utilizing the zone defense this year, which seems to bother teams. And Andre Iguodala hasn't even made his impact felt yet there. So watch out for the Heat being a scare for somebody. And in the West, I think it's Utah. This is a team that is so good defensively with Rudy Gobert back there. And they can really disrupt what you do offensively in a 7-game series. And in such a situation, remember, we're only talking about that one key win that can turn a series. Getting a road win can turn it. This is a team that operates at an extremely high level offensively in terms of efficiency. They're not the fast-paced breakneck speed of most of these teams that we see now in the NBA, but they can beat you a different way, the way they can slow the game down and really defend. Watch out for the Utah Jazz. I don't think anybody really wants to see that team. If you're the Lakers or Clippers, that's the team you probably want to avoid in the second round.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For highlights and analysis, check out the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, check out ESPN+.